My beloved child, before you continue walking through the familiar worries of today, pause for a little while and let your heart become still. I want you to know that even in this seemingly ordinary moment, I am very near to you, not distant, not silent as you once thought. I do not come to you with hurry or pressure, but with a gentle presence, enough for you to feel if you are willing to open your heart. Take a deep breath, because amid all the things pulling you in different directions, I want to place within your heart a peace the world cannot take away. Not every important moment comes with a loud sound. Many times, what I do begins very quietly, like the first light of day touching the window before the whole room brightens. You do not need to panic in order to believe that I am working, nor do you need to chase after an urgent command to prove that you are worthy of receiving what is good. I am your Father, the one who has been with you in the days of waiting, in the nights when you quietly wondered whether your prayer had been heard, and even in the silences where you thought nothing was moving. I know you once longed for a confirmation. You once spoke to me in weariness and said, "Father, please let me know that I have not been forgotten." You once stood before closed doors, before promises slow to be fulfilled, before needs still unanswered, and wondered whether you had been asking for too long. But my child, delay is not always a sign of rejection. There are things I withhold, not because I do not want to give, but because I am preparing a better time, a brighter path, and a steadier heart within you. If I placed something great in your hands while your heart was still ruled by fear, you might not recognize it as grace. You might hold it with anxiety instead of gratitude. Therefore, I am not only preparing what you have asked for, I am also preparing you to receive it in peace. You thought I was silent, but in that silence, I was still arranging. I moved things you could not see, adjusted connections you did not know about, closed unhealthy paths, and opened small shafts of light so you would not lose your way. There are hearts I am softening. There are circumstances I am rearranging. There are things that seem delayed but are actually being placed into the right position. You look at a day and see only repeated tasks. I look at the whole journey and see where every small piece will be joined together. You see a door that has not yet opened. I see the moment that door will open without causing you to lose wisdom. Remember Samuel when he was still a child serving in the temple. My call came in the night, not loudly before the crowd, not immediately explained by dazzling signs. At first, the boy did not recognize my voice and thought Eli was calling him. But when he was guided to listen, Samuel answered with a willing heart. From one quiet moment in the night, a life directed by my voice began to open. Do you see? True confirmation does not always come through something that overwhelms you. Sometimes it comes as a very gentle call, inviting you to learn to listen more deeply, respond more slowly, and place your heart under my guidance. In the same way, my child, what you once prayed for may be drawing near in a humbler form than you imagined. Perhaps it is a small opportunity, a conversation at the right time, a clear idea, wise counsel, unexpected peace after many days of confusion, or an opening just enough for you to know you are no longer standing still. Do not overlook the seed because you are waiting for the whole field. Do not despise the small ray of light because you are expecting the sun to rise all at once. I often begin with what is small to teach you to recognize my hand in ordinary life. When you are faithful with the small thing, you are opening your heart for the greater thing to be formed in a lasting way. I know you have cried in places no one saw. I heard every quiet sob, every prayer that could not become a full sentence, every silence where your heart only had enough strength to sigh. You are not ignored. You are not left at the back of the line. You are not someone standing outside my favor. But I want you to understand that favor is not a passing feeling of excitement. Favor is my enduring presence, lifting you through every season, teaching you to stand firm, teaching you to discern, teaching you to live purely, teaching you not to let outward answers become the master of your heart. Perhaps the enemy of peace has whispered many times that nothing is changing, that your prayer has fallen into forgetfulness, that you will always stand in the same place. But I want you to look more closely. You are still here. You still have not let go. You can still hope, even if that hope sometimes feels very small. You can still rise, even after being weary many times. You still know how to seek me, even when your heart is full of questions. That too is a sign of grace working within you. Not every miracle begins when circumstances change. Some miracles begin when you no longer believe the voice of despair the way you once did. I am opening a way for you, but I am also teaching you how to walk on that way. If you are longing for a financial breakthrough, let me teach you stewardship, restraint, faithfulness, and contentment. If you are longing for an opportunity, let me prepare your hands with diligence and your mind with clarity. If you are longing for a sign, let me soften your heart so you can recognize that sign, even when it comes simply. If you are longing for restoration, let me touch even the habits, fears, and wounds that have caused you to live closed off. I do not only want to give what you asked for, I want to build within you a foundation so that what is given can bear fruit. My beloved child, do not let distraction cause you to miss what I am teaching. There are times when you pass by too many voices and can no longer hear the voice of peace. There are times when you seek outward confirmation so much that you forget I have placed within you a deep place that can recognize truth. Return to stillness. Ask me honestly, Father, what is my next step? I may not show you the whole road immediately, but I will give you enough light for the step you need to take today. And sometimes, one right step today is enough to change the direction of many days ahead. Open your heart, but do not open it in haste. Hope, but do not let hope be mixed with impatience. Expect what is good, but do not let your heart depend on a promise that sounds too great but lacks peace. What comes from me will not make you fear that if you are a little slow, every grace will disappear. What comes from me will lead you into truth, wisdom, gratitude, and maturity. I do not manipulate you with fear. I lead you with love. I do not need you to react loudly to prove your faith. I invite you to live faith through quiet obedience, through small but upright decisions, and through continuing to walk in the light even when the answer has not yet fully appeared. Therefore, be at peace, my child. Your waiting is not meaningless. Your prayers have not been buried. Your tears have not been forgotten. I am working in what you see and in what you do not yet see. When good news comes, receive it with gratitude. When the door opens, step through it with wisdom. When confirmation appears, bring it into the light and let peace test it. When what you once hoped for begins to move, remember that the one who prepared it will also teach you how to preserve it. And my child, as you continue your journey, remember that every day is an opportunity to learn to trust more deeply. Do not seek only grand moments in order to feel me. Recognize me in small things, in an unexpected word of encouragement, in a door opening at the right time, in peace that comes when you thought you would collapse. I am teaching you a mature faith, a faith that does not depend on momentary emotions, but is built on the understanding that I am always faithful. When you feel weak, remember that your strength does not come from having to carry everything by yourself, but from knowing how to rely on me. When you feel lost, return to simple things, pray, listen, and walk one small step at a time in obedience. I do not require you to understand everything. I simply invite you to trust and walk with me. I am with you in this moment, not as a voice of pressure, but as a gentle presence lifting your heart. Rise from the feeling of being forgotten. Let hope return, but let it remain pure. Do your part today. Pray sincerely. Care for what I have entrusted to you. Correct what needs correcting. Release what needs releasing. And keep walking with faithfulness. Then you will see that what I have quietly arranged does not need noise in order to be real. It will come in the right way, at the right time. And when you look back, you will recognize that I never stopped working for your good. Your name has been mentioned in rooms your feet have never entered. And I want you to understand that what is coming to you cannot be stopped by the doors that once closed before you. My child, there are arrangements I made long before you realized you would need them. There are hearts I have touched, conversations I have turned, and opportunities I have quietly prepared in places you have never stepped into. You thought you were forgotten. I thought your name was no longer remembered by anyone. Thought your quiet efforts had dissolved into emptiness. But I say to you, you have never disappeared from my sight. Even when no one called your name, I still called you with love. Even when no one saw your value, I still placed my favor upon you. My beloved child, your blessing is being brought to you along a path that no power can block once I have commanded the way to open. Help is being sent for you. Protection is surrounding you. And support is drawing near to your life in ways you could not create by your own strength. Do not treat this moment as a gentle comfort and let it pass by. This is a call for you to rise, to open your heart again, to believe that delay is not a sign that the promise has died. I am awakening faith in you. Not so you will dream without foundation, but so you will recognize that what I have spoken is still alive, still moving, and still drawing near at the right time. I know the pain you carry in silence. I know the days when you did not speak because you feared no one would understand. The nights when you quietly fell apart because the waiting had lasted too long. The times when you wondered whether you had hoped too much. You thought you were alone in those weak hours, but I was nearer to you than you knew. I felt your pain, saw every tear, and held you in the moments when you thought you had no strength left. But today, I have not come only to wipe away your tears, I have come to call you into a season of rising. What once made you bow your head will no longer define you. What once made you think you were locked out will become the place where I reveal that the key has always been in my hand. The door you thought was firmly locked has actually been touched by me. The rejection you once heard is not the final voice over your journey. What once said no to you can be turned by me into a yes in the right season, in the right way. According to the purpose I have appointed, delay has taught you endurance and deepened the roots of trust within you. But it is not allowed to keep you forever outside the threshold. The answer is opening. You may not yet see everything with your eyes, but faith always recognizes light before dawn fully appears. And I am inviting you to trust me once more, not with tension, but with rest in your heart. I know the waiting has been long. I know your hope sometimes became thin as a thread, with only enough left for you to breathe through one more day. But do not give up right at the edge of fullness. Do not turn away when what you prayed for is closer than you think. You will not be disappointed when you place your trust in me. What I have promised, I will fulfill according to my wisdom and perfect timing. No word I have spoken over your life falls uselessly to the ground. No preparation is wasted. No tear is forgotten. Stand firm, my child, because the appointed time is opening, and what I bring will carry the mark of peace, confirmation, and unwavering faithfulness. I am the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the one who still stands beside you today with undiminished power. Let this word go deep into your heart. I am not the one who acted only in ancient stories and then became silent before your present pain. I am the one who opened a way where people called it the end. The one who calmed raging waves. The one who called life to rise where everything seemed finished. The one who nourishes the depleted with provision beyond human calculation. And I am still that same one for you. I do not grow tired of your prayers. I do not forget your name among countless cries. I do not speak good over your life and then change my mind because circumstances become difficult. What I have declared over you cannot be erased by opposition, cannot be drowned by fear, and cannot be denied by the waiting. What I have appointed is still drawing near quietly but surely, like dawn moving toward the night, no matter how long the darkness has lasted. My beloved child, the very thing you were ready to release, I am breathing new life into it. There are dreams you folded away because you were tired, prayers you stopped mentioning because you feared that hoping again would hurt again, and pure desires you buried deeply because you thought perhaps they were no longer meant for you. But I have not forgotten. I heard both what you spoke and what you had no strength to name. You thought that prayer had been ignored, but I kept it before me. You thought that door had closed forever, but I used that closing to protect you from what was unworthy of your purpose. You thought I was late, but in truth, I was preparing you, preparing the timing, preparing the people, preparing the wisdom, preparing the vessel within you to be steady enough to hold what I am about to place in your hands. Not every closed door is loss, many times. It is mercy wearing the form of rejection. Not every delay is punishment, many times. It is an arrangement, so what comes to you will not arrive too early, out of season, or while your heart is still being pulled backward by the old. Not every silence is proof that I am absent, many times. It is where I build a foundation your eyes cannot yet see. In that silence, I taught you endurance. In that waiting, I made your roots reach deeper into trust. In the times when you thought you were forgotten, I purified motives, realigned desires, and clarified what you needed to keep and what you needed to release. You are not only being brought back to what was lost, I am bringing you into something greater, Vida, more mature, and more fitting for my plan for you. Now, a call is rising in the hidden place. It is time for you to stand in renewed faith, not standing through haste, nor through effort to prove anything to anyone, but through the peace of one who knows their Father is still leading the way. You will enter rooms you never thought you could enter. You will receive news that stills your heart because you recognize my hand behind everything. You will see things once delayed begin to move. Timely connections appear. Confirmations come from places you did not expect. And doors open without requiring you to lose your dignity in order to step through. And when that happens, your life will become a living testimony, not to shame others, but to reveal that I am still the one who keeps promises. Do not measure my power by the pain you once endured. Do not let old seasons of disappointment become the measure of what I can do in the new season. You were wounded, but you are not defined by the wound. You suffered loss, but loss does not have the final voice. You were overlooked, but I saw you. You collapsed in places no one knew about, but I bent down and lifted you with tenderness. And in those very places, I am doing something new. Where you were once broken, I will place healing. Where you were once underestimated, I will bring rightful honor. Where you once lost precious things, I can restore in ways deeper than you ever imagined. But you must allow me to heal even the way you look back at the past, so you do not enter the new season still carrying the burden of the old one. I have not finished your story. In truth, the chapters you thought were the ending were only the place where I was preparing a stronger revealing. There are pages of life soaked with tears, but I can turn them into evidence of mercy. There are roads you once felt ashamed to remember, but I can use them to teach others that no one is too far to be restored. There were times when you thought only ashes remained, but I can cause beauty to rise from that very place. I do not need perfect circumstances in order to act. I do not need you to become someone who never feels weak before I can lead you. I only need you to be willing to return to faith, willing to open your hands, willing to let me lead, willing to say that you do not understand everything yet, but you still choose to trust. You do not need to understand the whole road before you keep walking. If I showed you everything at once, your heart might become overwhelmed. Your mind might try to control it, and fear might come between you and obedience. So I lead you step by step. I give enough light for today's step. And when you take it, light for the next step will open. That is not a flaw in my plan, it is the way I teach you to stay close to me. You do not need to be perfect to be led. You need to remain tender. You need humility. You need honesty. You need to return to prayer. Return to listening. Return to the pure hope you once laid down because you were afraid of being hurt. If you give me your faith, even if it is small and trembling, I will cover you with grace greater than your strength. If you trust my call more than the voice of fear, I will lead your steps onto the right path. If you open your heart once more, I will not use that openness to wound you. I will use it to heal, renew, and awaken what has fallen asleep within you. My child, lift up your head. The new thing is beginning, not because you have controlled everything, but because I am still holding your life. Believe once more. Hope once more. Pray once more. Take one more step. I am going before you, and what I have prepared will come in peace, in the right timing, in abundance, and in the light of faithfulness that never fails. My beloved child, I have seen the tears you shed in the secret place. I have seen the nights when you could not tell anyone what you were enduring. I have seen the times when you had to brace yourself beneath burdens that were never yours to carry. The responsibilities you quietly took upon yourself. The pain you hid behind silence. The battles you never put into words. But I say to you, none of these things has been forgotten before me. You cried in secret, but I can restore you in the light. You endured quietly, but I can turn those very scars into part of your song of victory. What once made you ashamed will no longer be allowed to define you. What once made you collapse will become the place where I lift you to stand. What once made you think you had lost too much will be touched by my mercy. So you will know that in my hands, no painful season is ever useless. No, you are not too late. No, you have not missed what I prepared. No, you are not too broken to be restored. You are in the very place where I can meet you, lead you, correct you, and do what only I can do. Sometimes you think you are in a dead end, but in my eyes, that very place becomes the beginning of a new work. Sometimes you think you have been slowed down, but I am restoring the foundation so you can keep walking more steadily. Remain in my presence. Do not rush past the reminder touching your heart. There is a reason your soul is being stirred. There is a reason these words carry unusual weight. Not because they are spoken louder, but because they touch what you have quietly prayed for over a long time. I am calling you back to faith, not a hasty faith that runs after easy promises, but a faith that knows how to stand still, listen, and trust in truth. Delay is not always rejection. There are things I held back because your heart needed healing before receiving. There are doors I had not opened because the time was not ripe. There are things I did not allow to come early because I did not want blessing to become a burden to you. But when I open the way, you will recognize that your waiting was not meaningless. You will see that I was with you through every dark night, every choked prayer, every weary step, and every tear no one knew about. The miracle I perform does not need to be built on manipulation or empty promises. I do not lead you through vague shortcuts. I do not tell you to place your hope in mystical sayings, hidden secrets, or advertisements that strike at your lack. I lead you through truth, wisdom, peace, and enduring steps of obedience. What comes from me will not force you to act in panic. What comes from me will not exploit your financial pain. What comes from me will bring light, order, and clarity. If you are carrying a financial burden, bring it before me, honestly. Ask me for wisdom to steward, courage to face reality, the clear-mindedness to avoid traps that promise things too easily, and endurance to rebuild step by step. I can open doors you cannot open by yourself, but I also want to teach you to walk in responsibility. I can provide, but I also want to heal the fear of lack within you. I can restore, but I also want you to discern between true blessing and an invitation disguised as a miracle. You do not need a few magical words to be seen by me. You do not need a secret formula to be loved by me. You do not need to chase things, promising to erase every hardship in an instant in order to prove your faith. True faith is not gullibility. True faith clings to me, seeks wisdom, walks in the light, and refuses what does not carry peace. Let me renew the way you see restoration. Restoration is not only an unexpected sum of money or a circumstance changed in a flash. Restoration is also when you have enough peace not to make the wrong decision. Restoration is when you recognize a trap before stepping into it. Restoration is when you learn to steward what is small, correct what is misaligned, close what is toxic, and build a steadier life under my guidance. My beloved child, when my miracle comes, it will not lead you away from me. It will draw you closer to me. It will not make you proud, but grateful. It will not sweep you into illusion, but help you stand firm in truth. You will know that I have always been beside you, that my promise has not failed, that your faith was not foolish, that your prayer was heard, that your tears in the night were not wasted, and that waiting in me always has meaning. Therefore, stand firm. Do not let desperation make you believe voices that do not come from me. Do not let lack make you hurriedly hand your future to promises without foundation. Choose truth instead of illusion. Choose wisdom instead of haste. Choose peace instead of agitation. I am still working in your life, and what I do will carry light, healing, order, and love that never runs dry.